Hello, this is Lila in Hawaii. I'm going to show you something with some of my painting. Someone on my tube left a comment and said they enjoyed seeing my sketches and paintings. These are older ones, and I'm absolutely no professional. I just make up whatever I feel like and just do it. I'm self-taught. I like to use all kinds of mediums. These are the same book, actually. But what I did was I changed the cover. The first version of this book I made all from scratch. I made the cover and printed the pages on my computer, and that was a labor of love. And I took it to a workshop I was doing in, where was it? It was outside Toulouse in the south of France. And when I had free time or on the weekends, I used to love to go and sort of capture little images of the village life, because we always stayed in a village. So this is the same book. I just changed up the cover, and the cover, it's just a painting I did of my art. Well, it's actually a jar supposed to be with my paintbrushes, but in the printing the paintbrushes got cut off. So anyway, so this is how it looks. And I chose this cover as another one because this was a photograph I took also in the south of France, and I really liked it. And I liked the way it wrapped around the book like that. So I'll show you some of the pages. And as I say, it's all kind of whimsy. If you have been to the south of France, you maybe would understand, and perhaps it doesn't make any sense to you right now. But it's just little sketches of the things I saw that caught my eye. What I had for breakfast, I'd sit there and sketch. Sometimes I'd take a photograph of my cafe au lait, and people I would see in the markets, a couple of old men having a beer, or maybe they're having a coffee, because that's how the water would come in those glass bottles like that. As I say, it's kind of very, very provincial. If you've been there, you'd understand. But if you haven't, you probably think, what on earth is she doing? But this is where they were getting ready to go and play boulet. And sometimes I had to jump out of the way because of the lady driver. So I sort of, it's sort of fun. It's meant to be tongue-in-cheek. I loved the pottery I saw, so I would, when I had a chance, I would, paint some of the pottery. Sometimes I added a photograph because there was inspiration. This man was feeding the cats, and so this was the inspiration for him there and the cat. And I said, is that a cat? Because it doesn't really look like a cat to me, but however. And then walking up the hills, the steep hills, to the churches on the top, that page. This page was kind of almost like a disaster, but I printed it anyway. I had these printed because I took some photos of some flat boats. This is an original Monet. This is my picture that I took, and then here are my versions. Not very good. And then I was sitting, in one of the little areas where you could have coffee, maybe a little bistro, or maybe just a cafe. And I would notice what people were wearing, what they were carrying, like the bag that lady might carry. And of course you see cypress trees everywhere. Couple of photographs there because this was a cafe where I ate, and this is the menu. And so here's the coffee mugs on this side. When this is an enclosed market in the center of the town, they always had a market somewhere nearby, and it'd be produce, and it'd be chickens and nice breads and beer and all that sort of stuff. So I used to go there for lunch every day. It's very windy in the south of France, and a lot of the areas are quite rugged and sort of arid, and so I wrote a little thing about the winds that blow there, the names of the winds, like Le Mistral, which is the dry north wind, Le Vent, which is the humid east wind, and so forth. So that's that. And then on this side, just some people I sketched that were out doing their marketing. On this side, I visited a lavender farm. And so here's some lavender, and then here's the guy who's been out in the fields harvesting really, the lavender. On this side is just some strolling in the village. You see dogs everywhere, dogs on the sidewalks, and chickens running across the road. This one is also just a village scene, or actually a couple of them are just village scenes, just things that took my fancy, and a lot of them I had to do by memory because sometimes I couldn't capture them with my camera, and so I'd just remember when I came. Honestly, half the time I didn't paint them until I got back to the US because I found it too hard to really paint in plein air, so I gave that up and just tried to capture them on film, and then if I couldn't, I would pick up a brochure or something and then do it when I came home. Just a few more nice churches and buildings. I love the buildings. I love the terracotta roofs on them. And the brickwork is amazing. And then just baskets of goodies that you can find. There's soap and cherries and flowers and bread and so forth, and vegetables. There'd be a market every morning. And on this side, one of my drawings, like, I hope, like Monet, of Lavender Fields. And because I sort of mimicked his style, I tried to anyway. Maybe didn't do a very good job. But anyhow, I decided I would write a little thing there with the colors that he used. These are supposed to be the colors, and I tried to get them as close as I could. It's a little key, actually, is what it is. Some more images here, strolling. You see these kinds of lampposts everywhere. And of course the carousels are everywhere in all the villages, and not all the villages, but a lot of the villages. Well, particularly the bigger ones, they're lovely. And clothes hanging on a line, sometimes just between two sort of sticks or tree trunks. And here's a Monet sort of idea that I got from him. I painted it. And I used a different technique there, wet on wet. And just some various styles of villas in Provence. And on this side as well. This one I made into a fabric wall collage. And the rest then, this is also a Monet that I mimicked, and I have au revoir here. And so I used that as the back, and then I've got a little bookmark that I made to go in it. So that's sort of one of them. Now I've got a number of books that I've made with sketches of France, mainly Provence. I spend most of my time when I've been there. I've been to Paris, of course, but I didn't find that was as easy to actually paint and draw, so I preferred this Provence. So anyway, I've got several of these books, and sometime I'll put some on my website, and you can, if you're interested in buying one. Those are they, and I hope you enjoyed that. Sketchbooks. Sketching Provence by Villa Levine, and this one says Lila's sketchbook, but they are the same book. Thanks for watching. Goodbye now.